Hey guys, Uncle Ray, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. On this channel, we cut through the hype and the noise, and I give you the non-biased information you can use to hopefully capitalize on the biggest opportunity in history. And I believe it's this current bull run. Now, I don't always tell you what you need to hear. And quite frankly, guys, if you want to grow a channel, you just keep telling people what they want to hear, and they'll keep coming back, and I could explode this channel. Think about that next time you're watching your favorite influencer, if it's not me. That being said, guys, I stack Quant in the bear market, and I love everything about Quant. There's not one thing I do not like about Quant. The founder, the tokenomics are arguably some of the best, if not the best, in all of crypto. But it hasn't been performing. And lucky for me, I sold all my Quant about 9 months ago. But, I've done a number of trades, like swing trades, because when Quant gets under $100, normally it definitely bounces right back. So I've been looking at the charts and thinking about buying Quant since I just had a customer call who owned a lot of Quant. And so I started thinking maybe I want to do a swing trade. But before I put on that trade, I wanted to go down the rabbit hole and see what Quant has been up to and see if there was some positive news or some negative news or whatever. And guys, what I uncovered, if you own Quant or you're remotely thinking about buying or selling Quant, you need to watch this video. It will change your entire perspective about Quant. Now, if you hear me out and you don't close down, this will be some alpha that proves what I've been trying to tell people for the long term. Because, guys, one thing I try to convey to all my coaching clients, and it's not financial advice, but I tell them, look, I do not hold anything or will not hold anything outside of Bitcoin past this bull run. And a lot of people disagree with that thought process because they're like, oh, this is the newest tech, whether it's Quant or whatever your favorite project is. But, one good thing about being older is you get a lot wiser because you've been around. Now, there's a lot of smart people in crypto that you may be listening to and may sound smart, but if they haven't been around to see like the 2000 .com bust, they might have a different perspective and lead you down the wrong path. Now, let's dive into this, but before we do, hit that like button. Now, guys, again, I love Quant, but, one thing I see in crypto, which blows me away, and I really believe that if crypto people were not tribal and we were all searching for the truth, we could get a lot better and put on a lot better positions because, when I do my research, it takes me literally hours sometimes just to cut through the BS, right? I hear some crazy news about one of the tokens. I go down the rabbit hole and then I realize it's straight BS and it's just some influencer wanting to pump their token or wants to pump the token, but normally they want to pump their channel because they tell you what you want to hear. And if you own Quant and I wanted to grow this channel and get you coming back, I would just tell you Quant's going to, a new all-time high of 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000, which you can find on the internet. But here's what I don't see people doing in crypto. When you look at any investment, you need to look at the big picture. Lean back, look at a bird's eye view. Who are all the competitors? And I've been telling people for 2.5 years that the U.S. government primarily, the governments, Wall Street, and the central banks are going to dominate crypto, and they're going to pick the majority of winners and losers, whether we like that or not. And I've also said that 98% of these tokens are going to disappear or be irrelevant, and most of them will not hit a new all-time high, not even close. Now, I've also said that the tokens are not going to be needed for the most part across the board. Now, there might be a token needed in general, but it's just like your phone bill or whatever. There's a lot of different people involved in your phone bill, but you get one bill and you just pay it. You don't have to buy or pay 5 different entities. It's going to be the same in crypto for the majority of use cases, and this proves that point. Base, no token needed. JP Morgan's entire financial blockchains, no token that you can buy. And there's many projects that are that way. And people need to understand that if you are looking to hodl long term. That being said, let's dive into Quant. Now, when you look at this chart, guys, it's brutal. And Quant did extremely well in the bear market. I mean, it rallied up to, I remember, like $180 when nothing was moving. And every time it hit, if you go back and look at almost every time it hit $100, it took off almost every time. But now it's looks like it's thinking about going down to test the low of the bear market. Now, lucky for me, like I said, I sold all my Quant and I sold the majority of my ISO tokens, and I'll leave a video about why I did that if y'all want to watch that. But right now, Quant is, man, that's low. What is that, 70? I mean, guys, it's under 70 cents. Now, I'm really thinking about putting on a swing trade because I truly believe no matter what happens to Quant, it hasn't made its all-time high for this bull run. Now, it may go back to its all-time high, and it may do a 2 or 3x above that. I don't know, but I won't be owning it for that. But now hear me out, because this is the alpha, and it proves the points that I just talked about, that no tokens needed. And it shows you, guys, you have to understand this. Wall Street are in crypto, and they're in behind the scenes doing all kinds of stuff. So the dominant players, whether it's JP Morgan or Swift or the legacy banks or whatever, they have a game plan, and they are dominating crypto. No one just knows it, because in crypto, the small community only talks about crypto projects, and normally it's their favorite tribal project. They don't even understand who the competition is. They think it's the next layer 1 or layer 2 or whatever. But hear me out on this. Now, I watched this video during my research, and I came across this chart. Now, check this out, guys, because it absolutely blew me away. Now, I'm not a tech guy, and I don't understand everything, but Mr. Wonderful for the Shark Tank said, guys, like I learned this like 2 years ago. He said, you got to think about crypto as a startup tech company, because it's just software. Most of it can be cloned, and it's all going to just get better and better, and projects are going to become obsolete. And I believe once regulation gets here, you're going to see Wall Street step in and roll out the real blockchains that are going to be the future. Now, some of the blockchains like Ethereum and HBAR and Chainlink, they may stick around for a long time, but I truly believe, guys, anyone that holds through the bull run and rides out the next bear market, it's got to be out of their mind, because no matter how high your project pumps, it's probably going back down 85 to 95 to 98%, and most of them will not come back. And historically, when you go back and look at all the bull runs from the first bull run on, most projects, like 90% of all projects, this is a fact, 90% of all the projects from the start of crypto only made their all-time high in the first run. And they didn't make one the second bull run or the third, depending on when they were launched. But anyway, that being said, when I did this deep dive, I thought the competitors for Quant were like Chainlink and Axelar and PYTH and projects like that. And they are. And again, guys, Quant is phenomenal. But that doesn't matter. We don't pick winners and losers. But when we look at this chart, why is Quant going down? Well, whether it's Quant or any other project, it has to make money to support its ecosystem. And then outside of pure speculation, for something to stick around and be relevant and keep going higher, there has to be a way that the speculator can make money. The investor, so to speak, can make money, and they really can't invest in Quant. It's pure speculation. Now the ISO and the so-called banking reset, that narrative is dead. But anyway, look at this chart. People don't know this, but here's the Quant line of the growth, right? And the market share. It's been going down. Now, finality, that's this red line. It's been going down even harder. But that's a competitor. No token. No token needed for any of these APIs, any of this software. But they all compete with Quant. And if you look at every chart, they all go down. And except this orange chart right here. Well, this company is called Codent. It's a software company with an API. It's the #1 competitor, apparently, with Quant. And we're going to take a look at what that does. But look at that, guys. Where all of the competition is going down, a company that competes with Quant, who does not have a token, is absolutely ripping and exploding in market dominance. Now, why is that important? Well, most people don't even know who they are or what they do, or that they're a competitor of Quant. And I truly believe, guys, when this bull run is over, and or the next bull run or whatever, and you start going, why didn't my favorite project not dominate? Why are all these, where'd all this money go? Well, it's Wall Street using their Wall Street corporations, and it's the stock companies that are going to be making all the money, and they are going to dominate crypto behind the scenes. And again, guys, for the most part, there's not going to be another token. Think about Venmo and Cash App, right? And PayPal, they're all getting into crypto, where you can buy and sell crypto. Well, guess what? Not in any one of those platforms do you have to buy a third token, because it's redundant. And I learned that terminology, and this really got me thinking when the CEO for MoneyGram was being asked, why did they get rid of XRP? Well, he didn't want to answer and say anything about XRP and why they went to Stellar. And most people that haven't done any research will tell you, well, that's because of the lawsuit. Had nothing to do with the lawsuit. The only indication he mentioned was, well, we found it redundant. And I was thinking, well, okay, XLM is kind of the same tech, but you're using XLM. Well, come to find out, MoneyGram doesn't buy XLM. They use Stellar Rails, and they settle with USDC on Stellar Rails. And that's why you haven't seen XLM explode. So anyway, look at this information for Codent. And go to their website, surf around, but I just want to show you one thing, or read one thing it says. It says, Codent is now in production with JP Morgan. Commercial clients are able to establish and scale programs for paying their suppliers with virtual card by connecting to comprehensive and up-to-date supplier spend data. And it goes into everything else, and then it says using their API. And that's directly one of the many services Quant does. Look at the competition. Thought Machine. No one's ever heard of that. No token you can buy. And the foundations of modern banking. Look at this one. Form 3 Tech. No one ever talks about it. It's a competitor of Quant. And look at its clients. JP Morgan, MasterCard, Barclays, Lloyd of London. Do you see what I'm talking about, guys? And see, that's why these hodlers who think this tech is cutting edge and it's going to change the world. And again, guys, I love Quant, and this is not FUD. And if you think it's FUD, hey, stack more Quant. But I want you to understand this across the board. This is alpha for crypto in general. Because I'm telling you, in like 10 years from now, the majority of every token you own right now will either be irrelevant or it will have disappeared, just like in the 2000 dot-com bubble. But now what happened in the dot-com bubble? There were thousands of tokens. The top 100 tokens that were launched like in 2000, or not tokens, stocks, IPOs in like 1999, they disappeared. They're all gone. But what did come out of that is like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, and some of the biggest companies in the world. But guys, it's like 0.001% of all the companies that were supposed to be world beaters in 2000. It is like deja vu to someone like me. But guys, we don't even understand the competition to like the cross-border payments or to this type of software, because no one's doing the research, and information like this does not grow your channel. But growing my channel was secondary to educating people, because I truly believe, guys, this is the biggest opportunity in history. But if you don't even know the competition, no wonder you're not going to sell. You think one project's going to dominate with its tech, like I hear that about ICP all the time. Well, guys, who's competing with ICP? Thousands, and I mean thousands of corporations around the world who already have the customers. And customers matter. Look what Ton has done through Telegram. They have the customers. Best tech will not win. Their tech is going to be comparable to the best tech. And they have the customers. They are going to win. You got to understand that, guys. But look at this. Finality. Powering the future of finance. Right? See, guys, people just don't understand the competition. Again, guys, not here to spread FUD about Quant, but you need to do deep dives. You know, this is one thing I teach in my coaching, and this is a freebie. It's not financial advice, and I'll tell you about my coaching at the end of this. But here's one thing you need to do before you invest in anything, whether it's crypto, stocks, building a restaurant, buying antiques, it doesn't matter. You start with the big picture. Who's dominating that space? Who are the competition? Who has all the customer? Who's dominating? Right? Who are the players? How does it work? What advantages do they have? And then you narrow it down. And when you do that in crypto, whether it's like XRP for cross-border payments, when you do your homework, some real research on Swift and their roadmap and their gateway with like Link, and then you go dive into JP Morgan, you realize, whoa, that looks a little different. They are dominating cross-border payments, and they will not stop. They are gaining ground, and it's not the SEC or anything else. And you need to do that and understand that if you're investing in like Aave with DeFi. You need to understand that, say, when we get regulation where you can actually stake stuff legally and have real regulation, Wall Street's going to take all their money and they're going to stake it for their customers. Well, they're going to stake it on their rails when they're allowed to, just like tokenized assets. No matter what project you think is going to win that race, as it sits right now, Wall Street is using Ethereum. Now, a lot of them are using like HBAR, but for the most part, guys, the JP Morgans and BlackRock, if they only tokenize their customers they have now, no one can even get in the ballpark of them not dominating tokenized assets. They pick winners and losers, and no one cares what me and you think. It's not better tech. It's not anything. It doesn't have to be bigger and faster or easier to use. It's Wall Street. And what they are not going to, in the future, they are not going to let their customers stake on blockchains that they don't control and get a piece of. That's just the way the world works. I don't like it. And when it comes to decentralization, don't let people kid you. No one, including me, wants decentralization. Now, you might for 5,000, 10,000, even 100,000, but if you had $1 billion and you were going to do a cross-border payment, are you going to do that decentralized? Whereas if there's a uh-oh, or it doesn't get there, or you get hacked along the way, there's no one to call. No one wants that. And Wall Street definitely doesn't. The rich people of the world doesn't. They want centralization, like through a JP Morgan, that's insured. And you have like Galaxy Digital, which I've done a video on if you want to learn about them, and there's no token. But they already have the rails, which run on Ethereum, that if you tokenize an asset and do a transaction, they're guaranteed up to $1 billion. Whether we like it or not, that's the future. Anyway, guys, if you want to get a better understanding of how to build a portfolio, how to find good projects, how to compare good projects, how to dollar cost average out, and all that stuff, I do one-on-one coaching. It's only $250 for 3 phone or Zoom calls, and I really think it will help you out a lot. Now, whether you take me up on it, that or not, do yourself a favor, and this is not financial advice. This is life advice. Get a game plan. Work that game plan and stick to it. And guys, if you don't take profits, you will become the profits. And I really think you should go back and study history of whatever project it is. Study history of how hodling works. And outside of very few projects like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB, and a few others, you are really unhappy if you held. And even if you have a project like Solana, which, okay, if you held it through the bear market, think about all the hectic craziness you went through, and you had like a 20x, 50x, or whatever you had in the last bull run, but you didn't take it, and you rode Solana all the way down to $8. Yeah, now it's doing great, but guess what, guys? When this bull run's over, you can almost guarantee, and this, again, not financial advice, there's no guarantees, Solana's coming back way under 100, and it may go back and revisit $50 or even $25. Wouldn't shock me. So even if, say, Solana is the future, why would you put yourself through that pain? Hey, and I know people hate when I harp on XRP, but guys, 7 years, no new all-time highs. And if XRP doesn't hit a new all-time high in this bull run, these people are going to be 10 years and they're not even getting their money back. And they're missing the biggest opportunity in history because they listen to the wrong people. And I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I founded this channel, and that's why I do coaching. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Share with like-minded people. A lot of people need to hear this information. Hit the like button and come back and be part of this community. And hey, let me know what you think in the comment section. Take care, guys.